Welcome to my channel, my name is Nick, and whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. What Lies Below is a dramatic sci-fi thriller about a socially awkward teenage girl named Liberty who returns home from summer camp to spend time with her mom at the family lake house. Once there, she finds her mom has a new boyfriend who looks like the direct-to-Netflix Aquaman, but Liberty isn't convinced that he's the perfect guy as she discovers some very strange stuff going on in the lake. I came across this movie a few months ago while looking for something else, and I thought, that sounds crazy and interesting. So I threw it in my list, and I'm glad that I didn't pay to watch it, because of course this movie ended up on Netflix. This is a very Netflix movie. So basically what we have in the beginning is there's this teenage girl, and she's like, oh no, I want to hang out with my cool mom, played by Mina Suvari, I should mention. My first note that I took was, Mina Suvari, she still got it. But so once they get there, she's like, of course, she's dating this absolute hunk of a man, like... Not only does he look like he leapt right off the cover of a romance novel, but he's also an aquatic geneticist. You'd think this is a Lifetime movie, I tell ya. But so he's got some interesting experiments going on in the basement, and there's this real interesting vibe. It kind of reminded me of the Goosebumps episode, Don't Go Into the Basement, but this one was more like, come into my creepy basement. It starts out with this natural tension as you have this girl trying to deal with her mom's new man, and anyone who grew up with a single parent can know just how fun that can be. As things progress, they get really weird, and I was expecting things to get pretty creature feature kind of weird, but this movie was just weird. Now I'm gonna keep it spoiler free because I don't really want to describe some of the scenes that take place in this movie. Just know that a lot of the main conflict comes from Liberty dealing with this guy. What was his name again, even? John. His name was John. You know it's bad when you make John forgettable. So John and Liberty are spending some time trying to bond. He's trying to make some inroads, but he just starts being really creepy. The kind of creepy where you're thinking he shouldn't be around teenagers at all, at any time. There's a scene in a boat which is very uncomfortable. There are a lot of really uncomfortable scenes. He's often just like watching her from afar and like sniffing her shit like some kind of animal. And Liberty also sees him doing weird stuff in the lake where there's this like glowing light, and like I said, he's got these experiments going on, and she believes that he is some kind of lake creature. And unfortunately, he seems to have some very shape of water ideas. And ultimately what we have going on here is a teenage character dealing with their parent's significant other being a predator, and it's explored through the idea that that predator is an actual creature predator, which is actually kind of interesting in a way. I do appreciate this setup, and I like what themes it's trying to explore, but the movie spends so much time just being creepy, and not the kind of creepy that I like. Personally, you will notice here on my channel a lot that I advocate for movies, especially genre film, to tackle these kinds of issues, because I think if we can at least talk about them in film, we could get closer to fixing them in real life. And unfortunately, What Lies Below does not really earn its premise. In the beginning, I was kind of into it as there was this slow build, and this hot, hunky water god is all of a sudden doing some really weird stuff, and I was like, where is this headed? Where are we going? And then I saw where we were going, and I was like, I need an ejector seat. Like, abort, abort, abort. As things become more To Catch a Predator between John and Liberty, the mother character played by Mina Suvari begins getting sick, and this would have been an interesting time and opportunity to set up more about this John character and what's going on, you know, below. Unfortunately, I didn't really feel like any part of this movie was developed enough in order to make this story work. There wasn't the attention to character to make that dramatic storyline play out the way that it should have, but we also didn't get a clear understanding of the sci-fi elements in order to make the horror work, especially by the time we get to the ending, which... oh my god, what was happening there? I mean, I like when a movie all of a sudden goes off the rails, and this movie was headed directly for a cliff, but there's also a sort of extra ending. It looks like a reshot ending, like it was tacked on. At first, we have this whole sequence in the basement, which I thought was poorly edited, but it at least showed what was going on with John and his character. But then things come to a screeching halt, and I really just did not like the way that this movie ended. I am all for a complicated ending. I guess it's kind of creepy and scary, but it really just wasn't satisfying in the end. Overall, I liked the idea of what this movie was going for, marrying a predator with a predator. Interesting take, but didn't come together for me. As far as the concept is concerned, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, because like I said, I do think the idea was good, but the way that it played out within this story, not so much. And the execution of it all, although it did have some effective moments, I'm gonna have to give it a 2.5 out of 5 for execution, because it just didn't really seem to make some of the more questionable elements work for me. And then as far as the entertainment value, I gotta say, this is really unfortunate. I thought this could at least be a bonkers fun, wild, bad movie time, and it wasn't. About halfway through, it just got really boring. I can't even say that it was a good time. I can't even say I laughed at the screen a whole bunch. It just got really dull and uninteresting. So I gotta give it a 2 out of 5 for entertainment value. As for my official grade, I'm gonna give What Lies Below a 2 out of 5. While it started out with an interesting concept, it continued to dig its own grave until it became unwatchable. What did you guys think of What Lies Below? I saw that this movie was trending. It was like in the Netflix top 10, and I was like, that's hilarious. So if you watched it, let me know what you thought. I would love to know if this movie has some fans, because that would be ridiculous. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Letterboxd to see more of what I'm watching. Thanks for watching this video, you guys. That's it for this one, but I won't stop you from watching another.